Video games. I love them, you love them, but at times we want to play that game, we never can or ever will play it because of cancellation, or in these games' cases, banned in that country. In this video, I'm discussing when the game got banned and if they came over, what changed? Welcome to what I like to call, why was it banned?
Welcome back everyone to the pinnacle episode of this entire series. After over 2 years since my last Why Was It Banned, I thought of doing one more episode. The final chapter, some would say. Throughout my run of the great Why Was It Banned series, games of multiple always came clamoring back, and I was ready to take them on one at a time, until I realized how many games this one studio had under their belt for bannings, and decided, you know what, I'll take them all on at once in the one video. So, instead of the usual one game or even an entire series Why Was It Banned video, today we're asking, Rockstar Games, why was it banned? Now I could go through the whole history of who Rockstar is and what they've done in the past, but I'm not doing that, because y'all know who Rockstar Games are, and y'all know what they're known for, and that is of course GTA, Red Dead Redemption, Manhunt, Bully, Max Payne 3, LA Noire, The Warriors, Midnight Club Los Angeles, and of course, Rockstar Games presents table tennis. Peak gameplay. Now we're not talking about all these games today, because even with a ton of bannings, Rockstar still managed to get some through without issue. Especially of course Manhunt 1 and 2. I just see no point talking about them because both those games made it into every country with joyous uproar. I can't even finish the fucking sentence.
Ready? Camera. Action.
Rockstar Games is surefire one of the biggest ones to talk about for the series, and though they've always been known for widely beloved and well-crafted games, the company is known for usually surpassing the limit when it comes to what they can get away with. Grand Theft Auto, the main staple of Rockstar Games, has always been something for controversy around any release. San Andreas with its hot cups of hidden coffee, GTA 4 and the countless talks about a penis in the game DLC, and recently of course GTA 5, just in general. The series ever since the beginning has been known for controversy, and since still garners it, and is always put in the top 10s for gaming controversies. GTA 3 is one of the biggest real go-getters for this ball rolling, as it was the first game in the series to be played in third person, and act in ways you couldn't in the past games. A running through line with the series has always been its sexual activities, which started with free on the purchasing of women for these activities, and after you're done, you have the opportunity to rob that woman after for your money and hit her with your car. Another setback was that people didn't like that you were able to kill police officers in the game, but was defended as more of a player choice and no reward if you did kill them anyways. But this didn't stop its planned release, as GTA 3 was scheduled for full release in Australia until a ban was put on the game for its sexual activities, as Rockstar and Take-Two were forced to edit the game and remove the activities if they wanted the game down under, which they did, but its release in Australia was changed to January 2002, removing all acts of sexual activities. However, in 2019, this was reversed and allowed full uncut release once R18 classification was made available in Australia, with the fully released game made available on PC and consoles in Australia, except sadly of course PS2 and Xbox original consoles, since it was 2019 when this rating came into effect, and I doubt Rockstar would go back and re-release OG PS2 and Xbox discs in 2019. Yeah. Moving on though, unlike 3, Vice City was met with the near same response, only this time more towards race violence, especially anger from Haitians and Haitian Americans who were outraged at the violence that could be acted on by the player, and the fact that most of the depicted Haitians were mainly thugs, thieves, and crooks. After this discovery, an ordinance was started to make the game not playable to anyone under the age of 18, founded by the North Miami's majority Haitian American Council, with Rockstar and Take-Two saying that the violence should be taken with the context of the game. After this, an outrage also from the mayor of New York at the time, Michael Bloomberg, Rockstar and Take-Two apologized for this and made sure that any future release of Vice City removed offensive statements from the game, and since it's been playable in the countries that tried for banning or was banned.
I'm hungry!
But you really can't talk about GTA the series without of course the main one, the head honcho of controversies, and banning, with that game being GTA San Andreas, mainly regarding a certain type of coffee. In mid-June of 2005, Patrick Wildenberg, a modder from the Netherlands, released a mod called the Hot Coffee mod. With this mod, it would replace scenes throughout the game where CJ would go in for coffee with his girlfriend in the game and, well, do the deed. With the mod, however, instead of seeing the outside of the house and the camera shake with a little moaning, in the mod it would replace it with a fully clothed minigame with CJ and his girlfriend as they basically reenact a scene from the God of War minigames, except you get to see what they're doing. Though I've said this was a mod throughout, it was actually a cut out part of the game by Rockstar themselves, but just kept it in without anyone knowing. But then of course it was found. Immediately the game was put as adult only from its previous mature audience rating, and also with good old Australia ripping that MA15 rating off the game, and now being an unrated and now banned game, no longer able to be sold in the country until something was done about this mod. And something was done, as Rockstar pulled out ASAP a patch for the PC port of San Andreas called the Cold Coffee patch. Good one. With this and future releases having the mod removed from future releases of the game, dodging a hot brew right in their faces, and San Andreas to this day being playable and well known as one of the best of the series by nearly almost everyone. It would have been everyone if they were to keep the mod in somehow. Maybe then, Rockstar, we would all like your shitty games. The series would go on from there without any real issues, as GTA 4 was the most safest by from what I found on it. Unlike other games in the series, the most serious offense the game had was being able to get drunk and get behind a wheel. And the usual get-go of violence and criminal activity in GTA 4. The only really big thing that came out from GTA 4 was when the Lost in the Damned DLC came out and there was a penis in one of the cutscenes, which you look back at nowadays and we have games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, then you just see that cock and pussy. Moving on from IV to just V now, GTA V, the biggest of the series sales-wise, and also a game that just won't die, was met with the criticism of the series you'd expect by now, with its violence as usual being brought up, but with this time being also a specific story mission. By the book requires the player as Trevor to torture a character in the game through various tasks from removing his teeth, breaking his knees, waterboarding, and electrocuting him. These were seen as huge backlash in the game, making headlines as well, but this didn't stop the game from being sold though, as we all know from its sale numbers. But from this and also its violence towards women and NPCs, Target Australia had the game removed from sale at its stores, with a change.org petition being put out to sell it in their stores, even though in the end it's more Target's loss than the consumers from not selling one of the biggest games of the 7th generation. And actually to this day, from looking at the Target Australia website, Target still does not sell copies of GTA 5. Well, I guess at this point it really doesn't matter since so many people have gone digital, but this is why I prefer Kmart anyways. So, after finally going on and on about the GTA series, and almost all of them getting banned, censored, or sued, you'd think Rockstar would be out of the woods. Bitch please, let's talk about Manhunt. And then of course Rockstar Table Tennis. Disgusting pieces of shit. Manhunt is most likely one of the highest, if not biggest games regarding bans and controversies in the series. Why was it banned? Manhunt not only was a surefire ban, it is a game to this day that is still banned in locations, including places I don't have to call out anymore, because you all know where. Although it has been over 2 years, so I guess I should say, like Australia, of course. If you don't know the other usual locations, then watch the series. There's quite a few episodes, guys. Manhunt 1 and 2 are both staples among Rockstar Games' most well-known games, and even if they haven't made a game in that series in years, they're still talked about. The games followed creating snuff films as the player tries to, in the first game, earn freedom as a death row prisoner, and in the second playing an amnesiac as he tries to remember who he is while dealing with the psychopathic tendencies of killing people with the support of a psychopath that follows him throughout the game. Manhunt's controversies were huge, with links to a very tragic event that involved a murder of a 14-year-old boy by his friend at the time who was 17. This murder was one of the worst things to hear about when it came to the Manhunt video game, but if you look into it more, there wasn't really any relation with Manhunt, but the controversy still lingers with the game itself to this day. I'll leave a link about this controversy in the description below, but when it comes down to it, from what I read, it isn't really linked to what had happened in this horrible case with the murder, but I do recommend that you take a read of it yourself if you would like to know more. With the backfire of the case and the game's primary intent of killing for the intention and points you receive, it was very much a no-go show for coming into multiple countries. Although before the game was entirely banned in Australia, the game was able to sell around 18,000 units, while worldwide Manhunt 1 sold over 1.7 million copies. The game's excessive violence didn't really stop anyone from playing it now, did they? Though to this day, both Manhunt 1 and 2 are still banned in multiple countries, with Manhunt 2 when released was banned outright without really fought in multiple countries after its announcement, in countries like Germany, Malaysia, South Korea, New Zealand, and of course, Australia, which was never even submitted for classification, so chances of Manhunt 2 ever hitting the shores of Australia are pretty damn slim, and the future of the Manhunt series ever continuing are even more slimmer.
You fuck young boys, Valdez.
Are you a madman?
But even through all these trials and errors of Rockstar Games, they've always been able to get back to the top, being one of the most successful video game companies out there. And when it comes to sales for video games, everyone around Rockstar Games looks at them as the future of what the next games are going to be. GTA 6, I can 100% feel that a game that big is being looked at by everyone, especially PlayStation and Xbox with the future of their next-gen hardware. Anyways, everyone, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this lengthy discussion on almost every single Rockstar game that's been banned, I'd appreciate it if you liked it, and maybe even subscribed. As this is the final episode of Why Was It Banned, I know it took longer than I hoped to finish, but after finally finishing this series, it hurts to say goodbye. Now, there are plenty of banned games out there, but these were the biggest ones I really wanted to talk about, and while I was researching more episodes of Why Was It Banned, I just realized that it just all became the same in the end there. There are still exciting things to know out there for other banned games, but like I said, I feel like I'd be rehashing things again from other games I talked about. Of course, I'm still going to make videos, I promise, just to not be focused on banned games. Maybe, I mean, we'll see. The reason this series started was because Disco Elysium got banned in Australia a few years ago, but if something like that happens again, you never know, maybe a Christmas special sometime. I really did love making this series, even though it took me over 2 years to finally do this video. I appreciate every one of you who's watched. Your support means a lot, and I hope you stick around for what's next. Thanks so much for watching Why Was It Banned? It's appreciated.